Of the Beaumont bond proposals failed, how city leaders are responding.
Plus, what voters decided last night for several Southeast Texas emergency service districts and how that's going to impact those responding agencies.
And police in Orange investigate a deadly shooting at an apartment complex. What witnesses say happened before the shots rang out. 12 News Daybreak starts now. Good morning, Southeast Texas. Thanks for waking up with Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Tia Johnson.
And I'm Mark Armstrong. 7 o'clock right now. Let's go ahead and get a first look at your weather with meteorologist Jeff Gerber as we take a live look outside from our roofing 911 Live Skycam network here above Jasper. Jeff Gerber standing by with today's weather forecast. How's it looking out there, Jeff?
Not too bad. I don't think you'll need the heavy coat for this morning like we have the last couple of mornings, but you might need a lightweight jacket. You can see we do have some 40s on the map. 46 right now in Jasper, 48 in Kirbyville, and then a lot of 50s. 54 in Orange and Beaumont, 59 in Port Arthur. Silsbee's at 52, and also Woodville currently at about 52. Show you up into Jasper and also here in Port Arthur, about the same type of cloud cover, that kind of that stratus deck with a little bit of blue peeking through as the sun's starting to come up. This camera brought to you by Market Basket on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. So these will break up a little bit. We'll go mostly sunny through the afternoon with highs getting up right near 80 degrees for today. So it's going to be a little warmer this afternoon thanks to south winds anywhere from about 3 to 8 miles per hour. We'll stay dry through the next 7 days, but we do see fluctuations in temperatures as far as warmer and then eventually cooler. We'll look at your 7-day coming up in weather.
Well, new overnight, police in Orange investigating a deadly shooting at the Velma Jeter Apartments on Alley Payne Road.
Officers were called to the scene around 9:30 last night after witnesses reported hearing several gunshots. Police arrived to find a 36-year-old man dead from an apparent gunshot wound. Justice of the Peace Joyce DuBose-Sultan pronounced him dead at the scene. She has ordered an autopsy. Witnesses told our crew at the scene there was a disturbance before the shots rang out. We're still working to confirm details. We'll keep you updated. At least 7 people were killed yesterday after a UPS plane crashed near the Louisville, Kentucky airport.
Yeah, the cargo plane, it crashed during takeoff at Muhammad Ali International Airport, sending thick plumes of smoke into the sky. Now, this explosion, it engulfed at least 2 businesses nearby, including a petroleum recycling company. The aircraft carrying 38,000 gallons of fuel at the time. Officials say that people suffered very significant injuries at the incident and the death toll could rise. A preliminary investigation is underway, but the officials have said that it's too early to say what caused the crash.
And prayers to all of Louisville. Another tragedy that we're dealing with together, but we will come together stronger. We will support those who have lost loved ones and friends, and we will move forward as we have in the past.
And Mayor Greenberg, they're saying that there were 3 crew members on the plane when it went down and 4 others who were not on board at the time of the crash.
Southeast Texans turned out yesterday to make their voices heard at the polls. And this morning we're breaking down the results of the 2025 November election. Voters in Beaumont rejected most of the bond. The only exception, infrastructure improvements.
Yeah, it appears Beaumont voters, they weren't ready to pay more for a long list of projects for the city. So let's break them all down. First off, you got Proposition A that deals with infrastructure throughout the city at a cost of $58 million. The only proposition to pass last night at 58 to 42%.
Taking a look at Prop B now, which focused on public safety. This was the most expensive proposition at $147 million. It included the new police headquarters and a new fire station, plus 3 other facilities around town. It failed 55 to 45.
Prop C would have provided $37 million for parks, trails, and recreation projects across the city. Voters, though, said no to that as well, 52 to 48%.
Prop D would have set aside $12.5 million to extend Riverfront Park all the way to Main Street. It failed with a sizable majority, with 62% saying no. And
Proposition E also failing. It would have extended Point Parkway to connect with Highway 105 at a cost of nearly $9 million. Nearly 70% of voters rejecting that proposition. And while some may feel that this was a blow to the city, our elected officials, they are on to what's next.
We're hearing from people like Mayor Roy West as statements come in from other city leaders. 12 News reporter Derek Jones live from City Hall with more on how they are responding this morning. Hey, Derek.
Good morning, Mark and Tia. 12 News spoke with Mayor Roy West yesterday, and even though only one of those propositions passed, he says that council is still trying to figure out how to make better decisions on behalf of voters. Turnout was low, about 13%, but nearly half of those voters waited until Election Day instead of voting early. That suggests many who did vote wanted extra time to learn what was on these proposals. Beaumont Mayor Roy West says low turnout may also stem from a lack of trust in government.
I know voter apathy is not just limited to Beaumont, but it is, we had about 11,000 people vote, but 4,800 of those voted the last day. Serving as mayor and certainly our council, it's our responsibility to understand what our residents want.
West also shared that with Prop A being passed, it shows voters really cared about the infrastructure of the city. City Manager Kenneth Williams agrees. In a statement, Beaumont City Manager Kenneth Williams said, quote, "The passage of Proposition A is a win for the city. It will allow us to make meaningful progress on drainage and transportation improvements that benefit every resident." He also says the city will continue to plan responsibly and deliver projects with the, quote, "transparency and stewardship of our citizens expect." West shares that even though the other propositions did not pass, him and council will continuously try to help improve the city the best way they can. Live from City Hall, Derek Jones, 12 News.
All right, Derek, and a venue tax increase also failed last night. That is surprising to some because it would have only applied to visitors who stay in the city's hotels and motels, not to local residents. 12 News reporter Cameron Burchett, she breaks down Propositions D and E and that venue tax.
Beaumont residents made their voices heard after several propositions on the ballot failed to pass on Election Day. One being Proposition D. It would have set aside $12.5 million for an expansion to Riverfront Park in downtown Beaumont, as well as adding a plaza area and other improvements.
The idea would be to add some more active amenities.
Proposition E also failed. It would have extended Point Parkway to connect with Highway 105. That project would cost an estimated $8.9 million. The city said the landowner had already given permission to build the road and that they believed the project would have eased traffic.
It's definitely a no for me. Taking the peace and the quiet out the neighborhood.
A developer could take on the project. The city did tell 12 News before the election that there was developer interest. And lastly, the venue tax also failed. Revenue made from this project would have gone towards helping fund the downtown hotel and convention center.
Also, for many decades, we've looked at trying to get a hotel and a new convention center on the riverfront. And so the idea behind that is if a new convention center were built, this venue tax could go to help fund it. And the revenues, rental fees, food and beverage, could then in turn not only support the convention center, but also support a potential hotel on the riverfront.
For a full list of our Election Day results, you can go on our website and find that information there. In Beaumont, Cameron Burchett, 12 News.
Meanwhile, several Southeast Texas emergency service districts, they had propositions of their own on the ballot, which would dedicate a portion of the state's existing 8.25% sales tax.
First responders say the money would improve response times and cover the cost of new equipment. We'll start in Jefferson County, where voters in ESD 1 passed Prop A. ESD Chief Chris Gonzalez previously told 12 News the money would replace brush trucks and engines and help add full-time firefighters and paramedics.
We don't have volunteers to come in and staff. So with that pool diminishing, we're having to look for other sources of fire protection. More personnel that come out into the rural areas, the increase in call volume goes for us. So we've got to be prepared.
ESD 1 covers the Bevel Oaks area.
Voters also approved Proposition A for Jefferson County ESD 5. This emergency service district serves the Hampshire area. However, over in Orange County, voters did not pass the sales tax change for their emergency service district number 2. That district serves Orangefield and Bridge City. Well, Americans have spoken. 2 states now have new Democratic governors. New York City has a new mayor, and California voting in favor of congressional redistricting. It's a move that could play a key role in the next year's midterms and President Trump's agenda, and has all played out against the backdrop of a government shutdown. NBC's Alice Barr has more.
Victory parties late into the night for Democrats sweeping key races, hoping to gain momentum against the Trump agenda.
Thank you, my friends.
In New York City, Zohran Mamdani won big on promises of rent freezes, free buses, and childcare. President Trump had threatened to cut off funds to the city if the Democratic Socialist won. In his victory speech, the new mayor speaking directly to the president, telling him to turn the volume up.
If anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him.
In neighboring New Jersey, Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill becoming the state's first female Democratic governor, also speaking against President Trump.
Here in New Jersey, we know that this nation has not ever been, nor will it ever be, ruled by kings.
As Virginia voted in its first woman governor, former Democratic Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger.
Virginia chose pragmatism over partisanship.
And in California, voters approved a measure to redraw congressional district lines to add more seats for Democrats, countering Trump-backed redistricting moves in red states like Texas. The election's over. Some senators are suggesting Democrats may take their wins as an off-ramp to end what is now the longest ever government shutdown as soon as this week.
I feel very confident.
That, as the transportation secretary warned, the strain on air traffic controllers going without pay could bring mass flight disruptions and partially closed airspace if the shutdown stretches into next week. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And later today, President Trump, he's going to host Republican senators at the White House before traveling to Miami for a business summit. The Supreme Court also going to take up the case on the legality of his global tariffs today. Well, still ahead here on Daybreak on 12 News Plus, a look at the two propositions on the ballot in Port Arthur. One for the port, the other for the city. We're going to break those down in their mixed results. But first, millions of Americans searching for work to no avail. Why they rarely hear back from a real person, let alone land an interview. We'll be right back.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I wouldn't say that I was like a partier, but I would say that I was a social butterfly. So we would just always drink. That night, I went through a red light and I T-boned another vehicle. And I just remember thinking like, oh no. Right after the DWI, I lost my license and I did 30 days in jail. I could have killed him because I decided to be reckless. I have a ton of regrets. I'm Katie. 5 years ago, I got a DWI and I'm still paying for it every day.
As tropical activity picks up in the Gulf, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters. Get prepared before a storm hits. Watch the 12 News Hurricane Special, streaming on 12 News Plus. From the must-haves in your supply kit to the evacuation routes you'll need to take, plus safety tips and how you can protect yourself from storm scammers. The 12 News Hurricane Special, keeping you prepared. Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn, here with one of the most important hurricane tips, having an evacuation plan. First, gather food, water, and medicine before storing it in an emergency kit. Plan well in advance where you're going, how you'll get there, and if you'll need to transport any pets, small children, or the elderly. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Welcome back. Millions of Americans searching for work to no avail. But job seekers, they say that even after applying for hundreds of positions, in some cases, they rarely hear back from a real person, let alone land an interview. ABC's Rena Roy has more.
Experts are calling the job market low hire, low fire.
If you do become unemployed, it is harder to find a job right now because job postings have come down and the hires rate has declined.
Although sectors like healthcare are in high demand, postings in many fields like business and tech are seeing a decline. And for millions of unemployed Americans, the months or even years without pay can be challenging, from trying to make ends meet financially to not having adequate health coverage.
You wake up and you're like, all right, today's going to be the day. And then you get 4 applications deep into the day and you're like, well, I don't know anymore.
After 4 years playing pro tennis, Oklahoma native Scott Cameron started his New York City job hunt in January of this year. He was looking for a copywriting position.
I felt overly qualified, and felt like I had a lot of connections going into this job search. And boy, was I met with some harsh reality. I ended up applying for about 300 positions. I wrote about 170 unique cover letters.
Scott says he often received no communication back from the companies he applied to. He was encouraged a couple months in when he got an interview, but that feeling faded over time.
Little did I know the next interview I would get would not be for another 8 months.
Scott cold messaged job posters on LinkedIn to make a connection, but says he rarely heard back.
That was a little demoralizing. I was starting to apply for jobs that were not really what I wanted to do, but just wanting to get it working anywhere.
Experts say it's good to broaden your job search like Scott did and to not give up on networking.
It still matters how you are networking with people. If you actually look at the ways in which people get jobs, many of them are still gotten the old-fashioned way.
In the 10-month process, Scott had just 3 interviews, with that last one finally landing him a job thanks to a connection from his first interview.
I got my job offer that I currently have on my mother's birthday, so I was like, happy birthday, Mom. I don't need to live with you anymore. So you just have to keep trying.
Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
A little bit cool out there for this Wednesday morning. We have a little bit more in the way of some cloud cover as well. As you can see, kind of a stratus deck there of some clouds, but there are some blue skies peeking through these cloud cover for this morning. So not looking too bad out there. Our Roofing 911 Live Skycam Network in Port Arthur, brought to you by Market Basket, looking pretty good this morning. You can see a little bit of blue here and there. Port Arthur at 59, that's one of the warmer spots. We drop back to 54 in Beaumont and Orange, 52 in Silsbee, and then 50 right now in Woodville. It's 46 chilly degrees up there in Jasper, 48 in Kirbyville. So maybe a lightweight jacket this morning. Well, I don't think you'll need the heavy coat, but maybe a lightweight jacket would probably be the best thing you can put on for this morning. We're real quiet as far as radar across the region. Nothing going on, but you can see some of those clouds, that kind of mid-level cloud deck kind of working its way in off the Gulf of Mexico. And those will break up a little bit for this afternoon, so we'll go mostly sunny skies. Our futurecast takes us from the 60s by mid-morning to the upper 70s by lunchtime, and then into the lower 80s for today. We'll go right around 80 degrees for an afternoon high with mostly sunny skies, and we'll continue to see the winds off the Gulf from the southeast today between about 3 and 8 miles per hour. Dropping back into the 60s this evening, we'll stay parked there through the evening hours, and then eventually we'll fall back into the 50s. Look for maybe some patchy fog as we head towards tomorrow morning, especially in those areas that are prone to fog, that you see some fog developing quite often. Probably going to see some dense fog there for tomorrow morning. Conditions look like they're going to be right. Forecast for today, calling for mostly sunny skies, south winds at 3 to 8. And we'll see highs near 80, maybe some upper 70s and a few spots in lower 80s here and there. And then a lot of 50s for tonight with that patchy fog and southeasterly winds between about 2 and 7 miles per hour. 7-day forecast shows a warm up to 85 on Friday, 86 on Saturday. Still a dry forecast. And even though we have a cold front coming through late Saturday and early Sunday, still not looking for any rain. Maybe a sprinkle with the front. That's about it. And then we do see a pretty nice cool down behind it. If you're looking for cooler weather again, you can see 74 on Sunday, and then look at that, 62 Monday, 67 on Tuesday. And look at those morning lows. We go from 61 for a low on Sunday morning to 43 on Monday, and then 38 degrees for a low on Tuesday. And that's in the triangle, so that means Lakes area, some middle 30s for lows, maybe even some lower 30s. We could see a little bit of frost on Tuesday morning, possibly.
Frost, no rain, though.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it goes. That means people just have to keep on watering their gardens, I suppose. I'm sure a lot of people's water bills getting a little high right now.
Yeah, as we get into the winter months, not too many people gardening though, so
yeah,
you don't have to worry about that too
You know what that means? It's time for me to take out the gumbo my mama made. It's in my freezer. I need to take it out, let it thaw out for them cold nights.
Chicken and andouille, traditional gumbo we were talking about?
Seafood.
No, I'll take some of that too.
Oh.
Thank you, Mama.
Mama, if you're listening.
Thank you, Mama.
She brought Carrie some.
Ooh,
Y'all were gone.
I do love some gumbo now.
Well, while we're gone.
Not thinking of us.
No.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, thanks, Mom.
We're going to follow up on that, Mama. Just a reminder, you can download our app at any time to get the latest on the weather. You can check the radar by going to the radar tab in the app. And back to our post-election coverage here in Southeast Texas. In Port Arthur, voters saw 2 propositions on the ballot. We're going to start with the city's economic development proposal. Proposition A, that passed 63 to 37%, allowing the EDC there to use certain sales and use taxes for local projects. And this includes categories like parks, housing, water, job growth, and sports facilities. Also, the Port of Port Arthur had its own proposal, a $92 million bond with a property tax increase that would have paid for expansion and infrastructure upgrades, but it failed, with 53% of voters deciding against it. And 12 News spoke with Mayor Pro Tem Harold Doucette about the EDC proposal there in Port Arthur. He says that he wishes residents had been more informed.
And that's all I asked from day one, from the first day when I read it. I've said it from the beginning. This proposition does not meet all the requirements of 504.
And while we have more on these Port Arthur propositions coming up at 6:30.
Fort Neches Groves ISD has something to celebrate this morning after voters passed a $75 million district bond. A big portion of the money is going toward projects at the high school, and the district says the bond will not increase the tax rate. So let's break down the projects included. The district will replace the roofs at the Port Neches and Groves middle schools and the high school. The money will also pay for a new transportation center, HVAC upgrades in the band hall, and new floors in the high school gym. Athletics will also get a cut of the money. We spoke to head football coach Jeff Joseph, who says one project will serve the entire school.
We're looking to try to build a covered facility that's going to be used by more than just our sports teams. It'll be used by our band, our dance team, and all of our athletes.
We have a full breakdown of the projects on our 12 News Now website. And your time now, 7:22. Meteorologist Jeff Gerber will be right back with another look at your forecast.
This is a tornado on the ground.
And the roads are slippery.
We have a tropical storm warning.
Look at this water.
Street flooding in Boma.
It is going to get extremely cold.
The metal building blew away from a business. Staying safe behind the wheel is imperative.
Find a safe spot, move to an interior room.
Just make sure you're staying safe.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
The STEM fields are providing opportunity to be part of the developments that will shape the future, and the Army National Guard is at the forefront of the movement. Soldiers can serve part-time and choose from dozens of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs, working with cutting-edge technology and innovations. And the skills and experience they receive can open doors for them to civilian careers in the STEM world. Join a team that is taking the lead in STEM by talking to a local recruiter or by going to nationalguard.com/careers.
409 Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses.
It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of the human spirit.
It's agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify a community.
We give you the stats, but then we inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable.
We bring it to you all because sports lives in the 409.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
I'm meteorologist Kerry Cooper here with another hurricane tip. Stay connected. Sign up for free emergency alerts from your local county and plan on to monitor the latest local weather and news at 12newsnow.com. Being aware of any new information will be invaluable. And finally, know the types of alerts you may receive. A watch means be prepared, while a warning means act. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
We're back with a reminder. Daybreak is giving away tickets to the symphony next weekend. One lucky winner will get 4 tickets to the Beyond Boundaries Beethoven Reimagined concert at 7:30 on November 15th. You have until this Friday at 6:30 a.m. to enter. Go to 12newsnow.com/contest. We'll announce the winner on Daybreak at the end of the 6 o'clock hour. They'll be notified by email, and then we'll mail those tickets right to you.
A little chilly out there this morning. Temperatures around 50 degrees or so as you wait for the bus. Nice at recess, 77, and warm on the way home with temperatures right near 80. Our coastal marine forecast for today calling for an east wind at 5 to 10 knots along the coast with seas only about a foot. That gives us mostly smooth conditions on the inland lakes and bays. High tide at 3:55 for this afternoon. We'll see a few clouds out there for this morning to mostly sunny skies through the afternoon. Water temperature about 73 out into the Gulf. Our sunrise this morning, we passed that about an hour ago at 6:34. Our sunset tonight is at 5:26.
And coming up next, our post-election coverage here in Southeast Texas continues. How Beaumont city leaders are responding after most of the city's bond proposals failed.
Plus, mixed results in Port Arthur. We take a deeper dive into the 2 propositions on the ballot there and what they mean for the city.
And a UPS plane crashing Tuesday in Louisville, Kentucky, leaving at least 7 people dead. The question still left unanswered this morning as the NTSB investigates.
And your time, 7:27. We'll have more news and weather in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us on 12 News. Daybreak on 12 News Plus.
That's all accurate, yeah.
I'm Tia Johnson.
And I'm Mark Armstrong. It's 7:30, so let's go ahead and take a live look now outside from our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network here above Orange. Jeff, those low-level or high-level clouds are those?
Mid-level.
Mid-level. Well, they're still here, Jeff. I thought those were going to clear up.
I said later on this morning.
I got to pay closer attention.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. Thank you, Jeff. What else is up?
That's what happens when you play meteorologist.
That's right.
You kind of mess it up.
I like to do it on 12 News Plus.
Just on 12 News Plus.
I'm not a meteorologist, but I play one on TV.
Yes, I do.
Temperatures right now into the upper 40s in Jasper at 48. Everybody else, we're looking at 50s right now. 50 in Kirbyville and Woodville, 52 in Silsbee, Beaumont and Orange at 55 and 59 in Port Arthur. Outside, we do have some mid-level clouds called stratus clouds there, Mark. So
something. Thank you, sir.
There you go. Packard LaPrade looking at downtown Beaumont with our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. Currently showing 59, humidity 87% with a northeasterly wind at about 8. Highs today will be right near 80. We'll see some mostly sunny skies during the afternoon with south winds at about 3 to 8. Dry weather through the weekend. Also warmer weather as we head towards the weekend. We'll have your 7-day in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Well, new this morning, police in Orange, they're investigating a deadly shooting at the Velma Jeter Apartments off of Alley Payne Road. Officers, they were called to the scene around 9:30 Tuesday night after witnesses reported hearing multiple gunshots. Now, when police arrived, they found a 36-year-old Orange man dead from an apparent gunshot wound. Justice of the Peace Precinct 3, Joyce Dubas Sultan, she pronounced that victim dead at the scene and ordered an autopsy. Witnesses telling 12 News that there was a disturbance before the gunfire erupted. Now, we will keep you updated on air and online as we find out more details about this case.
Across the nation, officials say at least 7 people are dead after a plane crash in Louisville, Kentucky yesterday. They say at least 11 others are injured. Amy Kiley has the latest on this incident, and first a warning video in this story shows the plane crash itself and may be disturbing to some viewers.
Said, what's all that smoke? And we noticed the smoke coming in the sky.
We could see it through our windows of the plane.
Officials report multiple casualties after a cargo plane crashed near Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport yesterday evening. They say it went down shortly after takeoff, leaving a fiery trail of destruction through businesses and roads. Officials say 3 crew members were on board and at least 4 others died on the ground.
This is an incredibly difficult day for so many people, for our entire city. And once again, we'll be praying and doing everything we can to support the families, the friends, everyone who has been impacted this.
Officials say the aircraft is an MD-11 freight plane owned by UPS.
UPS asked me to convey the same message this evening. They are going to be doing everything they can to support those that have been impacted by this horrible tragedy.
The fire department chief says hundreds of firefighters worked to contain the blaze, which had spread over a large area. The mayor says the airport is expected to reopen today.
In this tragedy, Louisville will come together. Louisville will show up and be there to support our fellow residents who are struggling at this time.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Southeast Texans turned out yesterday to make their voices heard at the polls. This morning, we're breaking down the results of the 2025 November election. Voters in Beaumont rejected most of the bond, the only exception, infrastructure improvements.
Yeah, it appears Beaumont voters, they weren't ready to pay more for a long list of projects in the city. So let's go ahead and break it all down. Proposition A, that's the one that dealt with infrastructure throughout the city at a cost of $58 million. It's the only proposition that passed last night at 58 to 42%.
Taking a look at Prop B now, which focused on public safety. This was the most expensive proposition at $147 million. It included the new police headquarters and a new fire station, plus 3 other facilities around town. Early returns last night show it falling 57 to 42%.
Proposition C would have provided $37 million for parks, trails, and recreation projects across the city. Voters saying no to that as well, 52 to 48%.
Prop D would have set aside $12.5 million to extend Riverfront Park all the way to Main Street. It failed with a sizable majority, with 62% saying no.
And Proposition E also failing last night. That would have extended Point Parkway Road to connect with Highway 105 at a cost of nearly $9 million in the city's west side. Nearly 70% of voters rejecting that proposition. And while some may feel that this is a blow to the city, elected officials, they are on to what's next, they say. We are hearing from people like Mayor Roy West as statements come in from other city leaders as well. And 12 News reporter Derek Jones, he is live down at Beaumont City Hall this morning with more on how they are responding to these results. Good morning, Derek.
Good morning, Mark. 12 News spoke with Mayor Roy West yesterday about one of the propositions being passed, and he says even though those other propositions were not passed, him and council are constantly learning on how to make better decisions on behalf of voters. Turnout was low on voter turnout, about 13%, but nearly half of those voters waited until Election Day instead of voting early. That suggests many who did vote wanted extra time to learn what these proposals really meant. Mayor Roy West says the bond's defeat, with only 1 of 6 proposals passing, was fueled by controversy on social media.
I know voter apathy is not just limited to Beaumont, but it is, we had about 11,000 people vote, but 4,800 of those voted the last day. Serving as mayor and certainly our council, it's our responsibility to understand what our residents want.
Although voters rejected a majority of the bond package, West is happy Prop A was passed. City Manager Kenneth Williams agrees. In the statement, Beaumont City Manager Kenneth Williams said, quote, "The passage of Proposition A is a win for the city. It will allow us to make meaningful progress on drainage and transportation improvements that benefit every resident." He also says the city will continue to plan responsibly and deliver these projects with the, quote, "transparency and stewardship our citizens expect." West shares even though the other propositions did not pass, him and council will continuously try to make better improvements to the city of Beaumont. It's live from City Hall, Derek Jones, 12 News.
Thanks, Derek. Several Southeast Texas emergency service districts had propositions on the ballot in which voters decided whether to dedicate a portion of the state's existing 8.25% sales tax. First responders say the money will improve response times and cover the cost of new equipment. We'll start in Jefferson County, where voters in ESD 1 passed Prop A. ESD Chief Chris Gonzalez previously told 12 News the money would replace brush trucks and engines and help add full-time firefighters and paramedics.
We don't have volunteers to come in and staff. So with that pool diminishing, we're having to look for other sources of fire protection. More personnel that come out into the rural areas, the increase in call volume goes for us. So we've got to be prepared.
ESD 1 covers the Bevel Oaks area. Voters also approved Proposition A for Jefferson County ESD 5. This emergency service district serves the Hampshire area.
However, over in Orange County, voters did not pass the sales tax change for the Emergency Service District number 2. That district serving Orangefield and Bridge City. And over in Port Arthur, voters saw 2 propositions on the ballot. We're going to start with the city's economic development proposal. Proposition A passed 63 to 37. That's going to allow the EDC to use certain sales and use taxes for local projects. This includes parks, housing, water, job growth, and sports facilities. Then the Port of Port Arthur, they had their own proposition on the ballot, a $92 million bond with a property tax increase that would have paid for expansion and infrastructure upgrades. That one failed, with 53% of voters deciding against it. 12 News reporter Spencer Plato, she has more on both these propositions and the impacts they have in Port Arthur.
Good morning, Southeast Texas. I'm here in downtown Port Arthur, where there were 2 propositions on the ballot here in Port Arthur. And let's get into it. That Port of Port Arthur bond, it failed. That $92 million bond would have helped fund major expansion projects, improving cargo handling, storage, and access. The other item on the ballot was Prop A. This will now allow the city to use Economic Development Corporation money on city projects. Port Arthur Mayor Charlotte Moses told 12 News in a prior interview the proposition would help improve the quality of life.
We're moving fast. Things are moving rapidly in our community. Businesses are coming left and right, and we have to move with the times. And so we want to be able to make sure citizens understand that we're trying our best and putting our best foot forward.
Mayor Pro Tem Harold Doucette talked to me election night. He says he wishes more citizens were informed before voting.
We're trying to do it in a manner that voters are not informed enough to make the decision they want. And that's all I asked from day one, from the first day when I read it. I've said it from the beginning. This proposition does not meet all the requirements of 504, Section 152. It doesn't.
With Prop A, the money collected through the current sales tax would go toward community facilities, housing, and water improvements. But voters overwhelmingly passed it. But for now in Port Arthur, Spencer Plato, 12 News.
Students, teachers, and administrators at Port Neches Groves ISD have something to celebrate this morning. Voters passed the $75 million district bond. A big portion of the money is going toward projects at the high school, and the district says the bond will not increase the tax rate. Let's break down the projects that are included. The district will replace the roofs at the Port Neches and Groves middle schools and the high school. The money will also pay for a new transportation center, HVAC upgrades in the band hall, and new floors in the high school gym. Athletics will also get a cut of the money. We spoke to head coach Jeff Joseph, who says one project will serve the entire school.
We're looking to try to build a covered facility that's going to be used by more than just our sports teams. It'll be used by our band, our dance team, and all of our athletes.
And we have a full breakdown of the projects on our 12 News Now website. Still ahead, a big sweep for Democrats. Right, Trump is blaming the government shutdown.
When industry news breaks, we're on the front lines, digging into the issue.
Lamar is working to protect Power City from hackers.
Filtering out rumors and giving you the facts direct from inside sources.
ExxonMobil and lawyers for the United Steelworkers.
Taking on the story from all sides.
The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection last year.
Southeast Texas is a power city, and we're bringing the power to you. 12 News, putting Southeast Texas first.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
It's hard to really come to terms with dementia. There are little things that you can't even begin to plan for that happen that you need the early diagnosis for. My mom has done so much for me. There's no way that I wouldn't do the same for her. It's so important to have the conversation with your doctor earlier because you just do not know what the future holds.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I'm meteorologist Kerry Cooper here with another hurricane tip, evacuating correctly. If local authorities advise you to evacuate, do so immediately and without delay. Bring your emergency kit and be sure to follow evacuation routes. Do not try to take shortcuts because they may be blocked. Also remember to eat and get enough sleep for you to deal with whatever stress that may come your way. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
This morning, a big sweep for Democrats. The balance are in showing decisive victories in many key races across the country. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more details.
This morning, the votes are in. Democrats celebrating wins from New York to Virginia and west to California. Starting in New York City, where Zohran Mamdani beat Andrew Cuomo in the mayor's race. This self-described Democratic socialist sending this message to President Trump.
If anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him.
President Trump had repeatedly threatened to withhold federal funding from New York City if Mamdani won. And while Mamdani was delivering his victory speech last night, the president posted the words, "and so it begins," on social media. Trump's former senior advisor weighing in.
These are elections where Democrats vastly outspent Republicans. But looking forward, we do have to acknowledge that affordability is an issue that is top of mind for voters.
In New Jersey, Democrat Maggie Sherrill was easily elected governor, despite some earlier polling labeling her race a toss-up. And in Virginia, Abigail Spanberger making history as the first woman governor-elect of Virginia, after defeating Republican Winsome Earl Sears in a landslide.
Right now, our federal workforce is under attack, and the chaos coming out of Washington is killing Virginia jobs.
In California, Governor Gavin Newsom led a triumphant charge to redraw congressional maps to give Democrats as many as 5 more House seats in next year's midterm elections.
After poking the bear, this bear roared with an unprecedented turnout.
It comes after President Trump urged lawmakers in several Republican-controlled states to pass new maps in an effort to keep control of Congress. Overall, the results show the economy is still the key issue for voters.
People still see these higher prices and they still want to do something about it.
Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
It's a cool start on this Wednesday morning. You can see 50s now all across the board. Even Jasper, which is in the upper 40s, has now come up to about 50 degrees. We're seeing 50 in Woodville, Kirbyville, Jasper, 53 in Silsbee, and then temperatures rising here in the Triangle. 57 now in Beaumont, 56 in Orange, and Port Arthur getting close to 60 at 59. As we look outside, we have some cloud cover. I don't think it's going to stick around all day long. Matter of fact, we're expecting to see some mostly sunny skies this afternoon. Our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network from the Horseman's Western Store over in Orange, showing a lot of mid-level clouds there, but you can see a little blue in between some of the clouds. And then we switch down to Packer the Prairie, where we're looking at about 59 degrees. Once again, we have that mid-level cloud deck with a little bit of blue poking through, and those clouds will break up a little bit this afternoon. Right now, downtown on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network, 59, humidity 87% with a northeasterly wind at about 8. Pretty quiet across the area as far as the radar is concerned. Nothing from New Mexico all the way over into Georgia. Nothing on radar at all. And our futurecast showing dry conditions for today. We'll be in the upper 70s at lunchtime. And then our highs today, we're expecting about 80 degrees, somewhere right around there, 79 to about 81. We'll drop off into the 60s for this evening, and then eventually we'll fall back into the 50s again for tomorrow morning. Also look for maybe a little bit of patchy fog tomorrow morning with light winds and some moisture kind of coming in off the Gulf. We could see some fog in some spots. So we'll go mostly sunny this afternoon. South winds at 3 to 8 in highs. Like I said, near 80. We'll see some upper 70s, maybe towards a few places here and there. And then the lakes area tonight, patchy fog. Also down towards the coast, we'll see some patchy fog with temperatures back into the middle to lower 50s. 7-day forecast shows warming up into the middle 80s for Friday and Saturday before the cold front arrives. Now this front comes through late Saturday into early Sunday. We'll see that drop off in temperatures behind it. 74 on Sunday and then 60s for highs on Monday and Tuesday. Matter of fact, only 62 for a high on Monday. I think a big change is going to be those morning lows. 43 on Monday morning, and then we're going to see 38 here in the Triangle on Tuesday with some middle to lower 30s up in the lakes.
Not cheering for 38, but glad to see some fall weather.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting closer to the middle part of fall where we should be seeing some consistent cooler weather, and it looks like hopefully we're trending that way.
Hopefully it just stays this way for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
You know, Thanksgiving it'll be super hot, and we've had some cool days that we can use.
Well, like I said, I've seen Christmases in the 80s before, so that's not right.
That's not right. Thank you, Jeff. All right, back to our post-election coverage here, and now to these 17 statewide constitutional amendments that were on the ballot, and those ones covered everything from bail reform to tax exemptions. Proposition 1 passed with nearly 69% of voters approving it. That amendment creates an endowment for the Texas State Technical College program in Waco. The money is going to be used to fix campus infrastructure, upgrade classroom equipment, and expand workforce training. And then Proposition 3, it also passed. It requires judges to deny bail for people accused of specific felonies, including murder, aggravated assaults, and indecency with a child. Proposition 4 also passed as well, and that's going to set aside $20 billion for water projects over the next 20 years. That money is going to go into the Texas Water Fund to fix aging pipes and increase new water sources. Proposition 5 also passing yesterday. That's going to extend tax exemptions on animal feed to include when animal feed is held as inventory to be sold, and Proposition 7, a property tax break. That one passed as well. That one's going to impact widows whose spouses died while serving in the military.
There were more tax exemptions on the ballot. Prop 9 called the inventory and equipment tax exemption passed. It will now exempt up to $125,000 of businesses' inventory or equipment from being taxed by school districts, cities, counties, or any other taxing entity. Since Proposition 11 passed, the state can now raise the homestead exemption for homes of the elderly or disabled. They'll get a discount on school property taxes, which lowers how much a home's value can be taxed to pay for public schools. Prop 13, another homestead exemption, also passed. It increases the exemption from $100,000 to up to $140,000. This could mean hundreds of dollars in savings for the typical homeowner's property tax bill. Prop 14 also passed. It provides $3 billion to create the Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas. The money will go toward research on dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and other brain-related diseases. 12 News previously spoke with Shanna Briggs with the Alzheimer's Association. She says this brings hope to those suffering.
There's hope in the future for everyone involved that if we can get DPRIT, Dementia Prevention Research Institute of Texas, passed, we can have some hope that there will be more money allotted for research in the state of Texas.
The institute would receive up to $300 million annually. Lawmakers hope this will attract physicians, researchers, and experts to Texas. Finally, Proposition 15, it passed, affirming that parents are the primary decision makers for their children. And when Daybreak returns on 12 News Plus, we'll have more news and weather in your morning rush hour.
As tropical activity picks up in the Gulf, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters. Get prepared before a storm hits. Watch the 12 News Hurricane Special, streaming on 12 News Plus. From the must-haves in your supply kit to the evacuation routes you'll need to take, plus safety tips and how you can protect yourself from storm scammers. The 12 News Hurricane Special, keeping you prepared. Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
The impact killed my dad and brother instantly. A man, after drinking excessively with his co-workers, ran a stop sign, T-boned my parents' Honda, and destroyed our family. He could have just said, hey, I'm not okay. There's Lyft, there's Uber, there's taxis. There's so many other options. Every day, someone else can be taken away.
The STEM fields are providing opportunity to be part of the developments that will shape the future, and the Army National Guard is at the forefront of the movement. Soldiers can serve part-time and choose from dozens of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs, working with cutting-edge technology and innovations. And the skills and experience they receive can open doors for them to civilian careers in the STEM world. Join a team that is taking the lead in STEM by talking to a local recruiter or by going to nationalguard.com/careers.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn, here with some hurricane tips for protecting yourself against flooding. Take shelter in a designated storm shelter or an interior room and stay away from glass windows of doors. And if flooding begins, move to higher ground immediately. Never walk, swim, or drive through floodwaters. Remember, turn around, don't drown. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy.
Welcome back to Daybreak, 7:54 right now, and it's time for your morning rush out.
Here's everything you need to know as you start your day. Police in Orange are investigating a deadly shooting at the Mauriceville apartments last night. They say around 9:30 p.m., witnesses reported hearing several gunshots and arrived to find a 36-year-old man dead from an apparent gunshot wound. Justice of the Peace Joyce DeBose-Sultan pronounced him dead at the scene and has ordered an autopsy.
Beaumont voters rejecting most of the city's bond proposals yesterday. Only Proposition A for infrastructure improvements passed, but Props B, C, D, and E all failed. B focused on public safety and included several new facilities. C was for parks and rec improvements. D, the Riverfront Park expansion downtown. And E was for a road extension in the West End.
Parents in Port Arthur are invited to connect with district leaders at this morning's parent meeting. It starts at 11 a.m. at the admin building. Superintendent Dr. Mark Portery will share important district updates and plans for student success. There will also be refreshments and door prizes. Also, I'll be in Jasper this Saturday for Tia's Tales. The theme is Dino-vember, so come prepared to do dinosaur-themed arts and crafts. Meet me at Kiwanis Park from 11 to 1 for a fun time. All ages. I mean all.
Even
They're
Jeff?
welcome. Even Jeff.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Well,
yes,
yeah,
we will.
if that's what you like.
It's Dino.
Okay, Dynamite.
All right, let's look at our 7-day forecast. Temperatures right around 80 degrees today and tomorrow. Middle 80s for Friday, Saturday before that front arrives. And then we cool down as we head towards Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday with some cold starts out there Monday and Tuesday mornings.
And as we close out Daybreak here on 12 News Plus, the Earhart School in Beaumont is beaming with pride at one of its 8th grade grads. She's much older than 8th grade now. They say that Shadani Savalas is nailing this adulthood thing so far. According to Earhart's Facebook page, she graduated from Beaumont Early College and LIT in May at just 17, and then graduated from the Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego on October 31st, just 4 months after her 18th birthday. Good job, Maureen.
Shout out to her. The sky is the limit.
It certainly is. And thank you so much for watching Daybreak here on 12 News Plus.
We'll be back here at 11 a.m. for midday.
Have a great day, everybody.